think you got a milk mustache.
I haven't had milk in a long time.
I don't know. You got something going on.
They're here.
You got some kind of lip fungus they ain't quite identified yet.
I feel like I have a cut right there. In the shower, it was like burning or something. And I'm just doing that again now. Okay, I'm doing intro.
Okay.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Adventures with Edna. I'm Chance.
I'm Chris.
And today, we're doing part 2 of that.
We got our valve seals replaced. Again, we are not doing the other side because at the moment we can't really risk breaking any head bolts off in this. So we're taking the easy way out by having to do that again in the future. Now, remember, we weren't having any issues with the the left side of the engine. So everything we did was for the right side. And so far, we have pulled the head, pulled the intake. We got all of our intake valves with new seals in them. We did find out, which we didn't know this beforehand, was that there are no seals on the exhaust valves, which I don't know if that makes this project worthless or not. But we did accomplish something by getting those seals in. Hopefully you guys learned something there. We're going to continue on. We're basically going to get that clip in that we didn't get in the last video. That's going to be where we're going to start out. Then we're going to start on some cleanup work, get our head back on, get that torqued down, get our intake back on, and get that on. Originally, I was thinking maybe we would clean up the intake and get it repainted before it goes back on, but now we're starting to get under the gun because Chance has got to go to school in the morning. And this is how he's getting there. So we got to get this back together today. I feel like one of those channels where they're like, we got 2 days to get this back together, and you know, so there's still so much to do. But yeah, so we're gonna get back on this. So let's get started. All right. So something I noticed, and I don't know how well you can see it in there, but this valve here in the center of the screen is the one that we didn't get the clip on. You can see it's on there, but it's not in all the way. So what I realized is not just a matter of getting the pressure off of that retainer clip, but it actually has a recess that it kind of goes up into a little bit. So you got to get it down a little further. That's why they don't just come right off. You can't really see it well enough. Like if you look at the one, let's see if I can point. See, if you look at this one, you should be able to see like the edge of the clip where it's going around the valve guide. But if you look over at these ones, you don't really see that because it's up inside that little recess. So this one's not quite in all the way yet. So we're going to start out by getting that back in there. And then we're going to go on to cleaning up our mating surfaces to get our head back on. So we should be able to push down on this. Allegedly. Why is it not moving? It got froze in the middle of the night. If it works, is it really a dumb idea?
What?
It went in.
So it wasn't a dumb idea.
No, I guess not. It worked.
Well, that's nice to know. Alright. Well, that was quick. Like 5 minutes. Well, not really 5 minutes. I was expecting less.
Alright, we're going to try to clean off these mating surfaces without getting anything down into the engine. because we don't want any crud in there that doesn't need to get in there. So I'm kind of pulling everything towards the head. Just using a razor blade here. Should probably definitely do an oil change after all this, just because I'm sure that even though we've done our best not to get anything into here, we're probably still getting stuff in here. We want to have a nice clean surface. We're going to, basically there's still there's just buildup and other crud on here. We want to make sure that we're not going to have any leaks once we get everything back together. This area out here is all kind of exposed because the gasket doesn't cover any of that. So this is all just kind of flat surface area that kind of gets in behind the head. See, some of this crap's getting down into the engine, which we're trying to keep to a minimum.
Oh, how old is that stuff that's in there?
Well, this engine was rebuilt roughly 45 years ago, maybe a little more. So it's been in there for a long time.
So, like, your whole life?
Yeah. It's a big gouge right there.
Maybe a little bit older than your whole life?
Yeah. Looks like I missed a little bit there.
That means you'll have to put an emoji.
I'm trying not to get this pine needle in here. Must have a cut on my thumb because it's burning now from the carb cleaner.
You want me to do it? Like, do you want me to clean it?
If anybody's at home right now just cringing this operation. There.
That's disgusting. Well, you read the comments, don't you?
Yeah, I read all the comments. Try to respond to everybody.
Do you respond to hate comments?
Yeah, but I respond nicely. I noticed in some videos they take and put freeze plugs down into these holes to block this off because exhaust comes up through here and tries to warm the carburetor, but apparently you really only do that like in racing applications or if you live somewhere where it never gets cold.
It gets cold here.
So we don't have to worry about that.
It does get cold here though. Just not as bad as a lot of other states.
Alright, we're going to reinstall the head first. So we got to get this area cleaned up. Our head area. There's a lot of carbon buildup on here. There's a dent in the head on this one.
Whoa, it's old. How many owners do you think has ever owned this?
No idea. We're going to have to get these cylinders cleaned out because there's already just crap that's fallen into them.
Have all of the cars you've ever had been used? Have you ever had like your perfectly new car?
I have never had a perfectly new car.
What's your newest car you've ever had?
Venom.
Oh, wow. So you've never had a car made in the 2000s?
Nope.
What's the oldest car you've probably ever had? This thing? Oh, wait, no. Your Model A. Your Model A, the oldest car you've ever had?
Yeah.
You said you had that thing twice, like you bought it back after you sold it?
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever have it when Kaylin was born? Or was it before that, too?
Yeah, Kaylin was born. She's ridden it. Well, the first time I had it, it was before she was born.
Lucky. Never gotten to ride in a Model A. Gotten to sit in one before. Got to sit in that one at Project Horsepower. They also let me start it. Remember?
Yeah. It's funny, this actually seems like a horrible mating surface compared to the videos you watch, where they've got all these nicely machined and all ready to go.
Well, we like old stuff. They like new stuff. Can I spray?
Hold up, I'm being somewhat strategic with this, if you can call it that.
Okay. I want to do the other side of pulling those things out.
No, because this hole here, we had a stud break off back when we had to put the red head on, and we spent 3 weeks trying to get it out. So I'm kind of afraid that something similar
could happen on that side.
Yeah, that we don't want.
Well, it only comes out like on the exhaust pipe. It only comes out on that side, though. Like you said, the blue would only come out on that side. But is it all connected?
Yeah. Just to show you guys a little bit of what's going on here. Can't seem to get it to focus quite right. Right here is where it says that these are 60 over pistons. So that's how we know that Edna has been rebuilt.
Your dad?
You can feel a little bit of a lip here. It's not too bad. I mean, you can definitely feel it with your finger, but I have definitely seen worse in videos of good running engines. Big bit of crap buildup right there. This is what they call ring ridge. And another thing you can see too is down here is Edna has stock original solid lifters. It doesn't have like the adjustables. This is a basic rebuild. Stock cam. No real upgrades on this. My brother told me yesterday, he says, because nobody tried to make Edna cool before now. So yeah, this is just a basic rebuild on this engine as far as we can tell. So it doesn't have any of the modern goody stuff that you see in some of the cool videos online. So maybe one day we'll be able to do something like that on Edna and give her a little more power.
When are we going to do the fun stuff?
All right, so next we're going to move to the head.
Is that going to be fun? Or
well, we're going to get it cleaned up and I'll let you handle that. Here, you take that for right now.
And you take that? Because you asked for it?
This is our surgical area. You know, made out of wood, covered in dirty bolts and pine needles. And this is our combustion chamber area. Look at that. See all that flaking off?
Yeah.
So we're going to try to clean this up. So here's our head gasket. We're going to pull that off, and that's going in the trash because we have a nice new one to go on here. We didn't do all this work just to put the head gasket back on. There is definitely a lot of buildup right there. Look at that. Where's that razor blade?
Can I do it? Can I do it?
Yeah. Just keep it away from you, and you're basically just trying to keep it flat. Like, you don't want to do anything where you're going to scratch this surface. Just keep it nice and flat and get that stuff off.
This is something you would not want to brush your hair with.
Now, this is 3 years worth of buildup.
How do you know?
Because this head was sandblasted 3 years ago.
Did you buy it?
Yeah. Colin found it on eBay, and it had been sandblasted and magnafluxed, and then we painted it red, remember?
Why did we paint it red and not green?
It's supposed to be red.
Oh.
All the cool flatheads are red.
Probably back then. I don't like new cars. They're not OGs. I think I might have scratched it. You see that?
Yeah, just use the wire brush in there.
I think the worst Batman suit is.
I don't know.
I don't know what suit I think the worst Batman suit is.
Which one?
The nipple suit.
The nipple suit?
Yeah. What do you think? The nipple suit was a bit weird.
Does that say made in the USA, or is that from the gasket? I think that's from the gasket. It'd be nice to have a drill attachment for all this, but I don't really feel like running to the store to buy one. That looks 1,000 times better than when we started.
Alright, ready?
Yeah.
Need a napkin. Yeah, you're right. It does look a lot better from when we started. We got a lot of that crud off, you see?
Mm-hmm. I'll try to go back and we'll try to wash out some of these water jackets too.
Alright, you ready to put this thing back in?
Yeah, let's go figure out what we're going to do about the head bolt situation.
Later.
So we got the new head gasket now.
Yeah, we're going to line this up. And this is something they always kind of gloss over in some of these videos, is lining this thing up. Because we don't, I mentioned in the first video that there's no dowels to line this up. So this thing literally just sits there. So you got to kind of, that one's too short. I need a long one like this to basically stick through here to have something to kind of grab it with. The other thing is the distributor clamp. That part has to go under the distributor, which we haven't moved. So you got to kind of put it on and then slide it, which is what we're about to do. Got everything cleaned to the best of our ability. So now we slide this into where it goes. And see, that goes underneath right there, under the distributor, which typically we would have marked this, but our distributor seems to be frozen in place. So it ain't going anywhere. So we got to kind of move around. So we're using 2 of these to try to line some stuff up. 2 bolts to get lined up, because we got to keep our head gasket in the right place. And we got to keep
How many do you have to get in there before it starts to like actually kind of stay?
All right, that one's correct. And this one is not in the right place yet.
So you gotta take that one out?
No.
Do they all have to go back in the exact same one? Or are they all the same?
What do you mean, like the bolts go in the correct holes?
Yeah, like does it have to be like the other ones where you have to put them all back in the exact same spot?
Well, there's 2 different lengths. They don't necessarily have to go in the same spot. You just got to have the right length and the right holes. All these bottom ones here are shorter And then the upper ones are longer because the intake actually gets smaller on this side and it's thicker on this side.
That's weird. Do you need another one?
Am I getting in here yet? Nope. I'm going to take a screwdriver and try to line this up a little better. Put it through a small hole. I can't quite see into any of these holes straightly, so I don't know if we're lined up. There's just not enough light. So it's going to come down. Let's use our rubber mallet to tap it down a little bit.
Rubber mallet.
This thing's more than paid for itself.
Like it does more than what we paid for?
Well, we've used it a ton.
Yeah, it was cheap. It works good, but it wasn't a lot of money. Where did we get that from? Like Harbor Freight?
Yeah. Alright, we got it now.
Alright, good.
Alright, so now what we got to do is start putting more bolts in.
And there are 24.
24.
22 to go?
Basically. So what we got to do is, for one, we got to clean this one off because that one wasn't sitting with the others. I wanted to use the other new ones that I had just to avoid cleaning these ones, but it didn't play out the way I wanted it to. So we're just cleaning up the threads. Now we're going to put some new, let's see, let's get all the long ones. See, there's long ones and short ones. So we got two lengths. So let's get some long ones here. And we get to paint. Because we got to put thread sealant on these bad boys.
Thread sealant.
So what we're going to do is we're going to start out by doing arts and crafts.
I'm good with arts and crafts.
See how much of this stuff we spill everywhere.
Probably a lot.
And we're going to coat our threads. Just like we did initially when we replaced this the first time. In some of the videos I have watched, they don't talk a lot about this part. I mean, they've talked about this. I mean, watching videos is how I put these threads on. I don't remember if... All right, that's a short... No, never mind. That should be long. No. Maybe we start with the short bolts. Let's start with the short bolts. Because the short bolts are too short to go in the long holes. So let's put those in first. That way we know we're not screwing up. We'll pick up some long bolts, or some short bolts here. Alright, so again, some of these bolt holes go into the crankcase. Like they go all the way through, which is why cracks in your block are bad on these engines, because they will crack around these bolts and they can cause water leaks and exhaust leaks and loss of compression, a whole multitude of problems. So we put these threads on here and we stick it down in and we get it started. Now, Doug suggested in a text message he sent me a little while ago of only putting the
My bad.
thread sealant on the holes that go all the way through. Which in theory sounds like a really good idea. But unless we had gone through and marked all these as to which hole was which hole,
It'd fit in a lot better.
we don't actually know. Now that now that the head's on, you really can't tell. I mean, I guess we could get a flashlight, but you already can't see in these things very well as it is. So we're just doing all of them. Plus, I did all of them last time, and it didn't hurt anything.
What does the thread sealant do?
Well, I guess I didn't explain that the way I thought I did. The reason that we put the thread sealant on is some of these holes go into water jackets. So there's antifreeze running past them. And they can leak. Like, antifreeze can leak past them and come out through the bolt holes or wherever else. And that's not a good thing. And some of these go down into the crankcase, so oil can leak up and past them, which is also not a good thing. So this seals those threads up. And from what I heard, it also kind of doubles as an anti-seize, since these engines are bad about having head bolts break off in them, which we know because we've experienced that. So I felt a little confident. That's one of the reasons that I feel more confident about taking this head off and not taking off the other head. This head's been off before. All of these bolts are new, and they all have this.
Did you just drop one?
Yep. I need the magnet.
Alright, so we got the magnet to try to find the screw, and there it is. Right off the magnet. Go put this over here real quick.
Okay, yeah, so originally when we took these out, like I said, this engine was rebuilt a long time ago. I don't have any history of the guy I bought it from, the guy he bought it from, or the guy he bought it from having had this engine rebuilt. But it's clearly been rebuilt. So
I think you're gonna need more. Oh wait, you got one. Okay. Is that your last one you got?
no, I got two more short ones. So we had that one break off. There's videos online of people trying to get these out, and it's not just this engine. This happens on a lot of different engines.
Check this out.
And we really struggled to get this out. I was also trying really hard not to get this stuff on my fingers. And
Can it stay on your fingers?
Yeah, now I've got it on my fingers.
Yeah, I see it.
So I didn't want to end up in the situation of taking the other head off and having the bolts that have been in there for the last 40-some years breaking. But I felt more confident taking this off because all the bolts are new. Everything that's on here is pretty much new. Well, not new, but all the bolts are new and they all have fresh sealant on them. So I can verify the sealant does work as an anti-seize.
Are you trying to get the farther ones done? Since it's kind of hard to see back there.
No, I'm doing the short ones. See, if you put a short bolt in a long hole, they don't reach the threads. See how they're all sticking out roughly that far?
Yeah.
See, if I take this one and put it in a long bolt, see, it goes almost all the way in.
Yeah.
So that way, so if I put it in a hole and it goes all the way in, then I know I've got the wrong one.
I have another.
Like, see, like, even if just coming up to these ones, see.
I have a another bolt just in case you need one.
Yeah, I'm gonna need one in a minute.
Yeah, I have one in my hand right now that I just wanted to check out for myself and then show it to the camera so they could kind of get a little bit of a closer view to seeing them. Okay, you need another one?
Let's see. One of these, the threads aren't started. I think it's this one. This one doesn't want to start, but I don't know why.
You gotta find it.
It doesn't look buggered up. Let's see. All the remaining bolts are the long ones.
I have the little one right here.
Except for Chance's got one little one.
Look at it compares. Like, look at the comparison of these. It's like an inch longer.
Let's try a different bolt and see if it changes anything. Very specific reason I'm using this particular thread sealant. And that is because I've seen everybody else using it. So
Is
yes,
that the
I
exact
would
brand?
jump off a bridge if I saw everybody else doing it.
Is that the exact brand that other people are using? Or
Yeah.
are they just using like their hometown brand?
Yeah, Permatex. Hometown brand. Alright, so where does the last long one go? Or the last short one go? Is it here? That seems way too long.
Alright, so you have all the little ones in right now? Is that a big one?
Well, at the moment.
You put long ones in there?
Well, yeah, because I had to use something to start it, to hold it in place.
But now those are all holding it in place?
Yeah, these are all long ones, and we have a short one. So. Put that back over here for right now. Not missing any, are we?
Do we have to put these back on?
Yeah. Those were the bolts that held the...
Those are the ones that I took out.
Yeah, those held the coil bracket on.
And how close are we to putting those things back on? Right after we get all those screws back in?
Yeah, we got a little ways to go because we got these to do. So we got one or two of these left.
One, I think.
Oh, there's one more under the truck. I see it on the ground.
Where? Oh. I'll go.
Oh, this must have been the one that was on the ground because it was dirty.
Do you want me to get that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
I gotta clean that one.
Okay. My hands are starting to dry up from how cold it is out here.
Your hands dry up when they're cold?
They get wrinkly, like when you get into a pool.
That sounds super weird.
I know. It's also the first time I've ever noticed that. But they look extremely wrinkly, and I think it's because of how cold it is out here. It's like 40.
All right, so that should be, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
We already have 10 in there.
Yep. So we should have 14 remaining bolts.
So we're not even halfway.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Halfway
6,
is at
7,
12.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yep. All right. That was the one we tried to do to start off with. So let's put that one in first.
Okay. It's weird that we wear shorts in the wintertime.
Answer for sissies.
That's what? I just don't like pants. Or did you say that you don't have any pants?
Yeah, I got too fat for them all. I'm making sure that all of these are threaded or have started. And then we're going to make Chance tighten them all down.
What? I thought that I wasn't strong enough to do that.
You can tighten them all down. That's the thing. You're strong enough to get them all tight. You're not strong enough to get torque.
Oh.
So we know that they don't get overly torqued just putting them in.
So, which means that we're actually doing like 44? Wait, no, there's... How many are there? There's 24, right?
Mhm.
That is... You're doing 24? And I'm doing 24. I'm doing all of them?
You're going to tighten them all up to get them.
Oh, I feel like first place is always the best. Like first place is what you're supposed to get.
They are all in.
Yes. That was a good 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
All right, so this and this
Go together. Don't go together. Do go together. I remember having to take these off, didn't I? Or
right.
did I do something else?
Now what you're going to do is tighten all those down to where they're tight with the block. Where they look like they're all the way in. So just snug them.
Okay. I'm going to get my stool.
Good training is taking place out here. I'm just inside chilling, having a snack. Well, I got Chance out here under the hood doing engine stuff. Tightening down head bolts. That's what I'm talking about. Proud dad moment here. Now we're going to start our torque wrench at 50. We've got to go up to 75. And I got my tablet set up under here so we can watch the torque sequence. Basically, going here. It's basically got you going around, working your way to the outside. Number 2. You hear a click, Chance?
Yeah, I heard it.
So when it clicks, that means that you've gotten to the correct tightness.
Does
and then
it click?
you move to the next bolt.
Click.
So something that kind of gets lost in some of these videos is this is actually a pain to do all this.
Is it because of how tight it can be?
Well, aside from how many bolts there are, you got to tighten these. It seems like in a lot of videos, they just kind of tighten these up and then they go cruise around for hours. And in reality, it doesn't go that way at all. You got to kind of torque these through your sequence. You got to go through them a few times. You got to drive it, get it good and hot, tighten them again, involve some of your ex-wives, question your life choices. You got to do all that to get these things tight. I think when we first put this head on, I was all worried it wasn't going to run right from...
Are you at 12?
Yeah.
Is that 13?
Yeah. I was all worried this wasn't going to run right because, of how much of a pain it was getting the broken head stud or broken head bolt out. And then I got it back together and it seemed like it was running kind of crappy. And then I went and checked the head torque and they were loose. So did some more tightening, and I think I tightened it over the course of a week before it finally stopped.
What number are you looking for?
What am I on?
17?
17.
17's like way over there.
So, yeah, it was not a lot of fun.
18. 18 is above 17. Then 19's right above 18. 20 is diagonal. Is that what's hard about it? Because no matter how tight it is, you have to keep going until it clicks.
Yeah. That's 20. 21 is
all the way over there.
All the way over there.
So you have a whole line to do now.
21.
There we go. 22. 23. And 24. Alright, that's all.
Nope.
What?
Now we get to do it again.
Why?
Because now we got to recheck them. Because as we tighten some, other ones probably came loose again. So now we got... See?
Oh, wow. And then you got to do it. How many times do you have to do it?
We'll go through this again. Then, once it's done, we'll increase the strength.
How many times do you have to go all through them?
Well, we got to get up to 75 pounds of torque. We're doing 50 right now.
Does that mean you're pushing 50 pounds right now?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
What are we on? 6? 7.
So when do you have to go to 60?
Once we get through these again. 7. 8.
9. And 4. You can tell how you say this is not like that fun.
Well, 13. Just time consuming. Although taking them out wasn't a lot of fun either. 16. 17.
Okay, there it is. Are you on 18, 19? What happens if you just go to 75 without going to 60?
Well, you don't want to warp your head. So we're kind of playing it safe here. Now, one thing we're doing is you got to have your hand all the way on this end of the torque wrench. So a couple times you've seen me 16. Oh,
That was
16.
24.
21. Okay, there we go. I've kind of had my hand on it, but I'm not putting any pressure on it. I'm really just kind of holding it in place. I'm not like helping turn from the socket.
Okay. I think you already did that one.
All right. Let's increase up to 60.
Can you feel it harder?
Yeah, it's tighter now.
What happens if you don't do this part? This thing could fall out.
No, you could lose compression. It won't run right. It'll be sucking air. Oil will be getting into weird places. Water will be getting into weird places.
I'm guessing you're going to also speed this part up.
Some of it, yeah. It was 70, not 75. So we're going to roll through these. And then we're going to go back through them backwards.
Once you get to 75 and finish 75. Is it getting stronger? Holy cow, you're shaking. It's that strong. Do you love it when you hear the click?
Yeah, because then you're done.
What's your least favorite numbers you have to do?
The one's closest to me. Just because I get right up in the radiator and have to pull more forward instead of down.
So you hate 17, 18, and 19, and possibly 20?
Yeah, those are kind of hard, especially when you get into this heavier weight.
There we go. What number are you on?
11.
Why do you have to do it in this exact order? So you remember?
It's kind of a way of not warping the head.
And so you kind of...
So it goes down as flat as it can possibly go down.
Oh, wow.
I would say 17 is my least favorite.
Because it's the first one.
Maybe 18.
By 18. It's the closest one to that thing.
Yeah.
19 a bit easier.
I slipped.
One, 22, 23. Last one. 24. Whew. Alright, we are recording. Have you done 75 yet?
Where am I at? 21? 20.
That's 21. That's 20. Good.
17. $15.
Is that 65 or 70? Are you on 70 right now?
11. I'm not counting. 10. 9. 8.
7. 6. Which is outside it. Then 5 saw service side it. 4 is directly up. 3. 2. 1. There we go. Is that all of them?
All torqued.
Did it, Dad? Good job.
Now we're going to get the intake ready to go back on.
What's that water thing in there? That looks like a lantern.
Oh, that's the sediment bowl for the gas. Let you see how much dirt you got in there. All right.
Ew. Ew.
Gross.
That is disgusting.
It's even still blue. This was definitely having some kind of leak. We got new gaskets for that, so we're going to take this off and change that. But we're going to change it. We're going to take that off first. Put it back on later. I wanted to clean this up and get it painted, but we're kind of getting under the wire here as far as time goes. It's Sunday afternoon, and we gotta be ready to go to school and work and all that other good stuff tomorrow. All right, we got our intake clean, and we got our gasket ready to go on here. Nice, clean. Oh, it goes this way. Clean gasket. Gotta make sure that our whatever that tube thingy is goes through, and then it's got to fit into the intake as well. So we're gonna put you guys up here to be host of all the action. It's kind of the same deal here. We got to figure out where the thingy is and put a bolt down in here. We took our fuel pump off because I was a little worried about getting this shaft in the right place. And I think we moved everything. I'm going to assume that would be roughly centered. But I think we moved our gasket to one side. Maybe. Nope, to that side and to the forward. So now should be able to drop a bolt in there. There we go. So our front section is wiggled into that tube, which it doesn't feel like it is. There we go. Now it's in there. So now we locked into the gasket. Get another bolt in here. Oh yeah. Stuff's happening. There's no hole there. It's funny because there's a couple holes in this intake that don't do anything. I don't know what they're for. Alright, all those are in. Now we tighten them down. Ow! Punch the hood. It was brought to my attention. Well, I don't know if you would say brought to my attention, but Mary asked me why. Oh, these are 9/16. Alright, so Mary asked me why I didn't take off the hood so that we would have more light and a little more room towards the firewall. And there's a very simple answer to that, because I didn't think of it. This didn't have any kind of torque procedure listed to it. Only that you got to tighten these. And that was it. I'm going to get them all snug for now. And then we'll go around and tighten them all. All right, we got all that tightened down. And I don't know if I specifically mentioned this. I said that there really wasn't a torque procedure for putting the intake manifold down, but there is a torque spec. It's supposed to be 25. So I went through and tightened all those down to 25, and I started at the inside and worked my way out, basically kind of like I had to do on torquing the heads. So that's what I did. So that's all nicely torqued down. So now we're going to slowly start reattaching stuff, and I believe what we're going to do is hyperlapse all of that. All right, we're making serious progress now. Putting our fuel pump back on. We've got a nice new gasket on that as well. Apparently we had a bad leak there before, so I feel good about that. Nice new paper gasket. Hit the hood with my fist again. We gotta stop doing that. Maybe Mary was right. I should have taken the hood off. Apparently, I can't put a ratchet on the side, so we're going with a wrench. It's 7/16, or it's a half. All right, we got fuel. We got a PVC system, PCV system, however you want to say it. All right, let's get our alternator back in here. Hook up our last couple of wires and see if she starts. It's on. Sweet. I'm glad we're almost done because we're running out of light again, which has been a major issue on this project. Alternator. Stand up, camera. Don't give up on me now. Luckily, all you really gotta do is get it in that position and just hold it there while you tighten the nut, which is it's better if you can have two people, but Chance isn't here. Mary isn't here. There's not options. There we go. Now it's almost tight. All right, we had 4 wires that go to the back of the alternator, which is this one, and this one, where's our wire nut? Put that over there. The other 2 are on the other side. So these got to go on like that. And then the other 2, which are over here, that. Tighten this nut onto there like that. All right, we got to reconnect our choke, our throttle cable, and put our throttle spring back on, which I dropped under the truck when we took it off. Let's get our throttle, not our throttle, but our choke on here, which is through that hole there. Throttle spring. Is that it? I think that's it. Let's put our battery cable on. Hopefully no sparks. No sparks. All right, everything's reconnected. Let me go get some keys and we'll see if this thing starts.
A few moments later.
She sounds good. Probably should have tightened the petcock down here for the radiator. Now it seems to be running fine. The problem is I have no electric fan and my temp gauges aren't working. I gotta look into that real quick. So I don't know if we're running hot or not, which is not where you want to be. The alternator's charging, so that's good. I got 14.7 volts.
A few moments later.
Well, I guess that was kind of a false alarm. Turns out if you don't have enough coolant in it, it won't cause the fan to come on or the temperature gauges to do anything. Who'd have thought? This thing holds like 4.5 gallons of water. It uses a lot. So yeah, it's all topped off now. Test drive's going good. Going back out. Clearly. Now we're gonna head back home and I guess recheck the torque on the head. That's what you do. You don't just go right on power to it. So it's the next day. As you can see, we're driving. Getting us all back together. Seems to be doing well. After last night's test drive, I went back and retorqued all the head bolts again. Made sure they were good. Going to be checking those over the next couple of days, making sure those are good. You know, because we'll be driving, letting it cool off, driving, letting it cool off. So we'll be checking the head bolts, make sure those are all good. I drove around for over an hour last night, getting to test things out, and feels like everything seems good. I won't really know about if we fixed anything, you know, until we drive it a little bit more. But I think the real MVP in this project is Chance. Chance really took charge. He did a lot of explanation in the first video, and he did all the teardown work. I only had to kind of step in when a couple times there was some muscle needed, but Chance really came through. He did it more on this project than any other project we've done before. So I'm really proud of him. He really did good. You did good, Chance?
Yeah.
You learned anything?
Yes.
What do you think everybody else did with their weekends? Just play video games? You tore down an engine? Not completely, but I mean, yeah, we were all up in there.
Inside the engine.
But yeah, you got to see a little bit of the internals and see how that worked. And this kind of stuff, that's lifelong knowledge. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. This was a bit like I said, this ended up being a two-part video, which we really weren't expecting at all. It took, of course, over 4 days of work. Well, I shouldn't say 4 days. One of those days was running to pick up tool from Doug. So thanks to Doug for loaning us that pry bar, or that valve removal tool. And you know, we spent some time silking down bolts, and then we really got started on it Friday after Thanksgiving. So anyway, guys, remember there's adventures out there everywhere. You just have to look for them. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share with your friends. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.